Beneath the crowds of the arena, I was once the grand champion, the strongest of heroes, defeating warriors and barbarians. Half orc, half man, they called me the Grey Prince, though some who've seen me fight in battle are not so convinced. For I have heard the whispers, I know they don't believe. They say I might be part beast or Daedra, for when I fight, that is what they see. My father, a noble and wealthy imperial lord. My mother, his orcish servant, not much she could afford. When my mother and father's relationship had been discovered, the lady of the house went mad and in a disguise fled my mother. She ran straight to the imperial city, cautious if any scouts had followed her, and she would live out her days, raising me as a commoner. On the day my mother died, she gave me a key. Open the doors of Crowhaven, there you'll find your true history. Crowhaven was an underground fortress, built long ago, now a long-forgotten tomb, completely overgrown. As I grew in fame and fortune, I began to wonder. My family heritage I'm ready to discover. So I packed my bags and left the imperial city. I'll be back in a month, I said to the arena committee. Upon horseback I ride all the way to Crowhaven, a fair distance from any civilization. In the dark of night I reach the ruins just as described. The giant stone doors, I used the key and walk inside. The cobweb halls were empty, though I dared not shout. Creeping quietly, I explore the darkness of the passages throughout. I long to prove I was the child of a man and an orc. The rooms so dark I had to light a torch. Though frightened, I was too determined to hide, for this was the place the truth of my nobility would be hidden inside. Cautiously I entered a bedroom. There it was atop a table so cold. A dusty book titled The Journal of Lord Leviticus, many years old. Behind me a screech. A man had followed me in. I have not eaten in decades, he said with a grin. Blood red were his eyes, wearing the pendant of an enchanter, though it was his monstrous fangs that made me know he was a vampire. You will be my feast, he yelled as he lunged forward. I struck him with a silver blade until his corpse fell in the corner. Silence filled the halls as he lay on the ground. I decided to read the journal, though its contents would make me frown. I'm in love with an orc, the journal did declare. She's unlike the others, this is more than a love affair. I pray that she is not too frightened of my condition. I hope she would not leave me, I hope she would listen. Tonight will be the night, I will tell her the truth. I hope she won't run from me. Together I want to raise our unborn youth. And on the next day there was another entry. Though its contents were vile, he no longer wrote gently. Betrayal, foul and loathsome harlot. I told her I'm a vampire and she threatened me with garlic. I want to be in her life, why can't she understand? And it was on that night she left, with the last key in her hand. She locked and barred the doors. My soldiers and I could not get out. These solid stone walls, no one could hear as we shout. If I don't breach these doors soon, I will surely go mad. Would I have to feed on my servants? Would that make me so bad? Oh food, oh blood, oh how I need to feed right now. And that is where I closed the journal, and I put it down. My heart had sunk, and my knees fell to the ground. Being half vampire is what made me so powerful, my truth found. Had I just killed my father? I wish to think about it no more. All these skeletons left behind, what did his servants and soldiers have to endure? I could no longer bear to touch the journal, so I left it behind, journeying back to the imperial city, horrified by the truth of my bloodline. When I arrived, everyone had greeted me with glee, but I was not too happy, this I'm sure they could see. My title of Grand Champion, fake and fraud, how could I stand with pride as the crowd applaud? And when the next arena match had begun, I begged my opponent to kill me, for my life had to be undone. And though the crowd was roaring, I could not hear a sound, as the once undefeated gladiator fell on the ground.